If you are a service member and you participated or you were there in support of the bottle. Yeah, that's a bottle. That's a battle. If you participated in the Battle of An Nasiriyah, please reach out to us. We would love to hear your story, and we are going to be adding it into the episode that we are going to be doing on the song The Naz. And we are actually going to be releasing that episode as a special episode on the anniversary of the actual battle. So I know that's not going to be until March of next year.
Correct.
But we're trying to hear everybody's stories. We're wanting to hear everybody get all their opinions, tell what in the world happened during the actual battle from your point of view. And we're wanting to get as many of these as we actually can to put out there and be able to get out there and do this story justice. There is a member here at our post. We're actually going to have him on the podcast with us when we do that episode and we get that episode filmed and put out. But we would love it, absolutely love it, if you would reach out to us. Let us know your own stories. If you just want to send it in an email, I will leave our email in the description down below of these videos. I'm also going to put this up in just about every single video that we put out from now until then, just to get it out there as much as we possibly can. If you participated, once again, in the Battle of An Nasiriyah, please reach out to us. Let us hear your story. If you want to reach out to us and we can do a video chat and get it filmed and do an interview with you and have that in the podcast. If you just want to send us an email telling us about your experiences while you were there, please do that. Just reach out to us in any way that you possibly can. We might also be able to, if you're looking to try and reconnect with some of your friends that you participated in the battle with, we can probably help as a focal point for that. So, once again, if you participated in the Battle of An Nasiriyah, please reach out to us. We want to hear your story, and we want to put you in the podcast with us. At least tell your story. So, thank you all for putting up with us for this point in time, and let's get back to the episode. 2, 1.
Good one.
Yeah. All right. Another decent one. You want to do the intro this time?
Go ahead.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the History in Music podcast. It is me, Spencer Robbins, joined once again by my co-host, Dave Faulkner. Today we're actually going to be going over the Johnny Horton song, Sink the Bismarck. If you haven't ever heard the song, don't worry. We're actually going to play little bits and bobs of it during this one. And we're going to do this one a little different. Instead of doing everything all at once, or instead of doing both the song and the history all at the same time, like we've done it before, we're actually going to go through the song first because there's a lot of history in this one that
yeah. We'll
get
there.
Okay. Without further ado, this is an actual marching song. It's set up in the way that it's played and the way that it's sung is an actual march. So that enables, or you'll hear it when you get into the song. You can actually march in cadence. Anyway, getting into the song.
The Germans had the biggest ship that had the biggest guns. The Bismarck was the fastest ship that ever sailed the sea. On her decks were guns as big as steers and shells as big as trees.
Okay, on that one there, in May of 1941, I'm already spotting this. Yeah. In May of 1941, the war had just begun. The Japanese didn't attack Pearl Harbor to bring the U.S. into World War II until December 7th of 1941.
Okay. September 3rd, 1939 is when Great Britain declared war on the Axis powers, Germany.
And it was actually before that when World War II officially started, because it started
France
off.
It started the invasion of Poland.
It originally started off when they invaded Poland.
Great Britain entered the war in 1939. So
we're going through and we're adding stuff in here, and we already told them that we weren't going to be doing that this time.
Right.
All right, but in May of 1941, the war had just begun. The Germans had the biggest ship that had the biggest guns. The Bismarck was the fastest ship that ever sailed the sea. On her decks were guns as big as steers and shells as big as trees. That seems backwards.
It rhymes. All right. We'll go with the poetic license here.
It rhymes, but something as big as a cow isn't going to shoot something the size of a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just got that backwards on
Yeah.
that. Getting on more into it.
Out of the cold and foggy night came a British ship, the Hood. And every British seaman he knew and understood. They had to sink the Bismarck, the terror of the sea. Stop those guns as big as steers and those shells as big as trees.
If I'm not mistaken, the Hood was sank
She was. Mm-hmm. The Hood went down.
pretty spectacularly and quickly. On that one.
No, she held her own for a minute, but
Well, not long enough.
yeah, she went down. So
Yeah. Okay, out of the cold and foggy night came the British ship the Hood, and every British seaman he knew and understood. They had to sink the Bismarck, the terror of the sea, stop those guns as big as steers and those shells as big as trees. Now, and for those of us that have ever been in the military and actually sung cadence while we were running and everything, you can tell that it's not necessarily a call and response, but it has that left, right, left cadence to it, and it keeps it nice and steady and in that beat. And getting into the chorus, it actually continues on because it's still just the same old beat throughout the entire thing.
Battleship that's making such a fuss. We gotta sink the Bismarck 'cause the world depends on us. Hit the decks a running, boys, and spin those guns around. When we find the Bismarck, we gotta cut her down.
And the chorus, that is,
still
You
one of my favorite songs.
you
I'll
could
be
call
honest,
that
but
you could call that poetic license for that, but it's still, I'm pretty sure that's what in the world they would have been telling the guys.
No, I feel that. All right, we'll get there, but I feel certain. Yeah, that was they were definitely hunting the Bismarck,
Oh yes, most definitely.
and not just the Bismarck. We'll get to that.
Yeah. But we'll find the German battleship that's making such a fuss. We gotta sink the Bismarck 'cause the world depends on us. You hit the decks a running, boys, and spin those guns around. When we find the Bismarck, we gotta cut her down. Going through all of that, it's still just that military cadence.
Right. It's
And-
definitely the march. It is definitely the whole song is definitely that drum march. It's clear and it's a great song. Don't get me wrong,
Oh yeah.
especially as a march.
Song originally written in 1959 and released in 1959. 18 years after the actual event happened. But they actually wrote the song. It was Johnny Horton and I want to say Thomas Sellers, and I know that ain't right. Anyway, Johnny Horton and an actual co-writer on this one for the ones that actually wrote the song, and I'll look up his name here in a minute. I've got it
Down
on
here,
here.
or it'll go somewhere. He can edit this in.
We're kind of low at this point in time, so yeah, if I bring it up right down here, it might be a
Yeah, that'd be a good place to put it.
yeah. But written in 1959, this song was actually written and released only a few months before Johnny Horton actually passed away.
That is correct.
In the car wreck on November 4th that actually took him from us. And he was only 35 years old when that happened. So,
Yeah.
him and a bunch of the members of his band were in the car. They started to go across a bridge. A guy driving a truck coming the opposite direction, drunk behind the wheel, ended up just hitting all of them. Johnny died on his way to the hospital. The rest of them just sustained minor injuries.
Well, one of them lost a leg. Eventually lost a leg.
Yeah, not all minor injuries,
Right.
but the truck driver only got minor injuries.
Yeah. Yeah, his band member survived and he passed on the way to the hospital.
Yes. Then, getting into the third verse.
The Hood found the Bismarck and on that fatal day, the Bismarck started firing 15 miles away. We gotta sink the Bismarck was the battle sound. But when the smoke had cleared away, the mighty Hood went down for 6 long
Right there. The Hood found the Bismarck, and on that fatal day, I keep wanting to say fateful day,
No,
even
fatal.
though I know it's not right. The Bismarck started firing 15 miles away. That tells you how big these guns were,
Correct.
and that also tells you how big this ship was, because at 15 miles, for every 5 miles on the surface of the Earth, it's 15 feet down.
This was one of the first battles that happened over the sea horizon.
Okay, I did not realize that. But
It was one of the first battles that actually happened beyond the horizon when the Bismarck sunk the Hood.
yeah, but 15 miles.
They couldn't see her.
Yeah.
They knew where she was.
But 15 miles equates to 45 feet down.
Right.
And the ships at that point in time, I mean, they might have been 60 feet tall, if
Right.
that.
They might have been able to see a little bit of her, but at this point they were using radar.
Yes.
It was crude, but it was working.
Crude
And-
radar, but it's still radar.
That's right.
Right into the next part.
Sound, but when the smoke had cleared away, the
I backed up a little bit too
went
far.
down. For 6 long days and weary nights, they tried to find her trail. Churchill told the people, put every ship a sail, 'cause somewhere on that ocean, I know she's gotta be. We gotta sink the Bismarck to the bottom of the sea.
Got to sink the Bismarck to the bottom of the sea.
I'm going to get into some of these historical inaccuracies in a minute, but there's another one there.
Okay, for 6 long days and weary nights, they tried to find her trail. Churchill told the people, put every ship a sail, 'cause somewhere on that ocean, I know she's got to be. We got to sink the Bismarck to the bottom of the sea. That's
Now, it was a call. I don't know that it was necessarily from Churchill. It may very well have been.
a call came from somewhere in the government, and they
that
probably just
we've
said,
got to get. They recognized the Bismarck was a monster. This
Yes.
thing was dangerous, and they had to get rid of it, especially after she sunk the Hood and damaged the Prince of Wales. They knew this ship had to go. This was the U-boats were bad. The Bismarck was a monster. She's got to go. So,
all right, so yeah,
with every ship a sail, we're going to get rid of her.
we got to find her, and then even if we're just having guys go out there with friggin' explosives in their backpacks just to throw at the damn thing, we got to bring her down somehow. Then it goes back into the chorus.
The German battleship is making such a fuss. We gotta sink the Bismarck, 'cause the world depends on us. Hit the decks are running, boys, and spin those guns around. When we find the Bismarck, we gotta cut her down.
It is so hard for me not to sing along with that.
Not to sing along with it, but also during the verses, it's going back to that cadence while you're running, while we're running in the military thing. The call is pretty much Johnny Horton saying the lyric or saying,
Right.
singing the call.
Oh, I could see
and
doing
then
this as a
the
cadence.
The response is the chorus.
I could see running to this as a cadence.
That would be interesting. Oh yeah, that would definitely be interesting. Because yeah, it's
It's a
It
perfect
keeps-
march time. Yeah.
it's perfect march time for the entire thing.
The fog was gone the 7th day, and they saw the morning sun. 10 hours away from homeland, the Bismarck made its run. The admiral of the British fleet said, turn those bows around. We found that German battleship, and we're gonna cut her down.
Yeah, not much to talk about there, really. I mean,
Yeah, that was just this is actually what happened, type thing, or this is what happened. 7 days after they sank the Hood, they found it again.
all right, we're going to go over that in a minute.
Yeah, but that's what he's saying in the
That
song.
is what
yes.
the song, yes.
But yay. Yeah. I meant to say yeah, and I said yay. Yeah, that works. Okay, the fog was gone the 7th day, and they saw the morning sun. 10 hours away from homeland, the Bismarck made its run. The admiral of the British fleet said, turn those bows around. We found that German battleship, and we're going to cut her down. Now, was the Bismarck 10 hours away from home, or was the English ships 10 hours away?
I'm not sure. I know kind of where this battle happened was somewhere off of Denmark, in the Battle of the Denmark
Okay,
Strait.
so they were only about 10 hours away from its home port in Germany.
They were going to France,
Oh, okay.
occupied France. Yes, they'd taken a shipyard and they were taking her back to France. That was the plan.
All right. And next part.
The British guns were aimed and the shells were coming fast. The first shell hit the Bismarck, they knew she couldn't last. That mighty German battleship is just a memory. Sink the Bismarck was the battle cry that shook the seven seas.
Now, when the British Navy ships caught up to the Bismarck, I have read a couple of reports that she was hit with between 100 and 150 rounds of naval gunfire from British ships. And
Okay.
she didn't sink.
Okay. Good Lord.
We'll go over that in a minute.
We found that German battleship was making such a fuss. We had to sink the Bismarck cause the world depends on us. We hit the deck a-running and we spun those guns around. Yeah, we found that mighty Bismarck and we cut her down. We found that German battleship was making such a fuss. We had to sink the Bismarck cause the world depends on us. We hit the deck a-running and we spun those guns around. We found the mighty Bismarck and then we cut her down.
Copyright pause.
Now let's get into the history. Okay, we already talked about the fact that Great Britain entered the war, declared war on Germany September of 1939. So we're not quite 2 years out. That's not the beginning of the war.
Yeah, and the U.S. and he wasn't talking about the U.S. at that point in time. Because
No, this was definitely Great Britain. Now, okay, we'll get into that. The Bismarck was one of two Bismarck-class battleships built by Nazi Germany and named for Chancellor Otto von Bismarck. She was started in 1936 and actually launched in 1939. And her sister ship, there were two of these battleships, was the Tirpitz.
I remember that one.
Okay.
I remember that name. anyway.
There were two of these beast battleships. And honestly, she was a monster, don't get me wrong. And in May of 1941, the Bismarck embarked on her only offensive operation. Her plan was to, she was sailing with the heavy cruiser Prince Eugen, and I don't speak German, Eugen. And the plan was to raid Allied shipping lanes, which was the U.S. sending supplies to Great Britain. And so we weren't in the war yet, but our transport ships moving goods to Great Britain were being sunk. Now, she was detected several times off of Scandinavia, and British naval units were deployed to block their route. At the Battle of Denmark Strait, the battle cruiser, now she's a cruiser, HMS Hood, engaged Prince Eugen, while HMS Prince of Wales engaged the Bismarck. During the battle, HMS Hood was sunk by combined fire from the Bismarck and Prince Eugen, which also damaged the Prince of Wales and forced her to retreat. Bismarck suffered enough damage from the Prince of Wales to force an end to the raiding mission. No, and everything I've read, all right, and it says, Churchill said, put every ship a sail. The destruction of Hood absolutely did spur a relentless pursuit by the Royal Navy. And it wasn't 6 days, it was 2 days later, while heading for occupied France for repairs. She was damaged and could not continue on her mission, but she was heading for repairs. Now, 2 days, she was attacked by 15 torpedo bombers from the aircraft carrier HMS Ark Royal. So they were dropping torpedoes from these planes launched off of, aircraft carrier, but back then it didn't mean what we have today. but she was still an aircraft carrier, and she had torpedo bombers.
And I'm pretty sure the British at that time had the ramp on the front.
I think they did. And one of these torpedoes hit the steering gear on the Bismarck, which
Ooh, okay.
basically rendered her kind of helpless. She could steam. In her final battle the following morning, so 3 days later, not 7, she was already crippled. She was engaged by 2 British battleships and 2 heavy cruisers. At that point, she sustained incapacitating damage, and this is where I was talking about between 100 and 150 naval rounds that struck this ship. She was a beast. They didn't sink from the rounds. She was scuttled. The captain scuttled her to
Okay.
avoid the British
To avoid the
boarding
British
her.
getting the ship and finding out all their classified secrets.
Yep, she was scuttled. And honestly, I'll give the German captain this. It was also to preserve life. Once sailors go into sea, they're no longer combatants.
Yes.
They get pulled out, and that is, I'll give credit to the captain for that. But it was also to prevent. I feel certain there's probably an Enigma machine, and there were top secret things they didn't want anybody to know about.
Oh, more
on
than
that
likely,
ship.
yeah.
So
Why do we blow up some of our aircraft and some of our ships that get badly damaged?
Exactly.
To keep everybody else from getting a hold of it.
Right. No. Like I said, all right. And to describe the ship a little bit, she was a 50,300-ton battleship when she was fully loaded. 50,000 tons.
That's the displacement weight?
Yes, that was her weight when fully loaded.
Yep.
Now, she was armed, and they say she had the biggest ships that had the biggest guns. All right, I got to dispute that one because the British had 2 battleships built at the end of World War I that had 18-inch guns. And they did serve in World War II. In fact, one of them was involved in the final battle with the Bismarck. The American ships, the Iowa class and the North Carolina class, had 16-inch guns. The biggest guns on a battleship were the Yamamoto class Japanese at 18.1 inches. Mm-hmm. So she didn't have a 15-inch gun is still, that's a hell of a lot of gun.
Yeah.
And and of course she also had, her secondary were 12 5.9-inch guns. So she was well armed. She was
Not the biggest, but very well armed.
very well armed,
And apparently armored to all hell.
at the belt line, I didn't write this down. I should have. Seems to me at her belt line she was 15 inches. She had 15-inch armor built around the belt line, which is where torpedoes would typically hit.
Yes.
The reason the torpedoes worked when they did was they hit that running gear. When you hit the rudder on a ship, that's
Yeah, you take out the rudder, it
kind
can't
of the
steer.
end. So basically, to go back, I'm going to say historically,
At that point in time, you take out the steering gear on a ship. At that point in time, it's a NASCAR. At that point in time, it can only turn in one direction, and that's the direction it was already turning.
correct. If it was turning,
Yeah.
Otherwise, she's steaming straight ahead. Mm-hmm. And so, historically, the song is not all that accurate. It's a great song. It's one of my favorites. It does cover the battle somewhat. The dates are, the timing's wrong. And I understood, I get poetic license, just to make things rhyme and flow. So this isn't the worst one I've ever heard. I've heard some that are really bad, but
Yeah, not the worst on the history, but
right.
once again, you take in poetic license, and not putting down the song. It is a great song,
Absolutely. It's, again, one of my favorites.
but it's just you take the poetic license and he made a great song, taking some liberties with what actually happened. Ow! I don't know what the hell just bit me.
But again, and a little side note, she was located in June of 1989 by None other than Bob Ballard. You know his other claim to fame?
I've heard the name before. Did he find the Edmund Fitzgerald?
No, he found the Titanic.
Ah, okay.
Bob Ballard has located some of the, and she's been surveyed extensively, so they know she was scuttled. Bob Ballard found her in the Atlantic in 1989. So
Okay.
she has been located, and
They
don't know.
They didn't put a can of beer on the bridge of this one, did
No, they did not. and I don't know. I probably should have found it.
they? If any
For
one
loss
of you
of
is
life.
watching up to this point and you actually don't understand that reference, check it out in our other video here.
But other than that, I don't have much more. She was, it was a hell of a sea battle. Glad I wasn't there. My dad was a sailor, retired 20-year Navy. Nope, not interested in doing that.
Yeah, I don't like being on a ship where I can't see land. I did 7 days on the Kitty Hawk as part of a TDY thing, coming from Korea down to Okinawa, and yeah, I do not want to do that again.
I didn't mind that, but the naval battles, no.
Well, at least for me, I know if I can see the beach, I can make it to the beach.
Gotcha.
If I can't see the beach,
Right.
I don't know which way to go to make it to the beach.
Yeah. Well, you just gotta swim. You stay in one direction. Good luck with that. Yeah.
But, yeah, when everything is just water.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of hard to figure out where in the hell you are until nighttime, or just basing on the sun. But then you can just tell what direction is. You can't tell where in the hell you actually are.
Right.
Many of you may have noticed we have new microphones.
Yes, we do. We hope they're working well. We don't know yet.
Yeah, we have absolutely no idea. We might have to redo all of this all over again.
It could be.
But we also have a couple of panels open up on the marine here behind us. Every time that we come in and film, we're gonna try and have a different panel open behind us. Like you can see here, we have sand from Normandy Beach. Here we have sand from Iwo Jima, as well as who actually got that one for us, which was. Let me actually pull it out of there. This one was actually gotten from Iwo Jima by Corporal Robert E. Purifoy from the 4th Marine Division, who was a member at this post. But every time that we do one of these videos, we're going to try and put it out there to where we have a different panel open and we're showing off something else behind us that we think is kind of neat. At some point in time, I was thinking about trying to use one of those 5-inch shells as a hat, and then I realized how much that damn thing weighs.
Yeah. We'll just set it here.
Just set it right down in the middle. Yeah, but then you can't see us or the Marine.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure out different stuff to do with it. Yeah, just put the thing over here so it's sitting over the table.
And that,
Put a hat on it.
and you know what? We could pull it out. And actually, I'm going to grab it real quick.
Okay.
Because when I said.
Momentary pause while Dave goes to get a really big shell casing.
There we go.
Does that have a date on it? No, that's okay.
This is a 5-inch shell.
Need to hold on. Ready? Yeah, there ain't. Pick it up a little bit on your end. Yeah, there ain't no way in hell I'm wearing that as a hat.
And of course, you got a primer in it.
The primer is not actually still in the shell. It is a hole.
It's a hole. Bismarck's secondary guns were 12 5.9-inch guns. That's a 5-inch shell.
Yeah.
Just for reference. Now, 15s don't use a brass shell.
No, that's just load in the round and then throw
And then
friggin' black powder in behind it.
Silk bags of powder. It's a movie. They actually show that very well in Steven Seagal movie.
Ooh, yeah.
Loading a battleship's main gun, where they
Yeah,
have
I
these
can't-
big silk bags of powder, and they just ram them in, and
Yep.
so yeah, they don't use a cartridge like this.
Yes. You're reaching over there and tapping on the thing. It's out of frame in the camera.
Yeah, I know. Just for sound, just for the sound effect.
Just for the sound effect. All right. Yeah, I'll take that. Relatively short episode this time.
Yes.
We are, for the songs that we actually feel need to have the history and need to be spoken of more deeply, we are going to make those the longer episodes, and you'll be able to see that by just like where we just did Radium Girls. It was an hour and 8 minutes. With the Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, there was just so much history and so all the accuracies going together with it, and it was too much to put in at one time. We will have these shorter episodes, which is going to be most of our content that actually comes out.
Right.
And because a lot of these songs, I mean, this song was what, 3 minutes long?
Right.
A little bit.
Yeah,
A little bit
right at
more, I
3
think.
minutes.
But then most of the episodes are going to be a little bit shorter, like this one. But as always, if you're following us here on YouTube, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down on the bottom. Tell us what you think we can do better. Tell us what you would like to hear us do next. Tell us if you think we got something wrong with the history, because I would like to be able to come in here and look at Dave and go, "Hey, we got this wrong."
And I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. I have no qualms doing that.
Oh, I know that, but
But, I do a fair amount of research, but, sometimes my sources aren't perfect.
And here in the future, we are also going to be moving into a new studio. We're not actually going to be using the meeting hall here in the VFW anymore. We are going to actually be moving into a room in my basement. But we have to get that ready first. And if you're listening to us on one of the other podcasting services, please rate us and leave a review. And as always, our best way to get spread around there is always going to be by word of mouth. If you like what we do, you have somebody else that you think might be interested in it, tell them how to find us, and all the links are down in the description below. Other than that, I did the intro. You want to do the outro?
No, you got it.
I got it? Okay. You are making me Cody, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay, this has been the History and Music Podcast again today, doing the Johnny Horton song "Sink the Bismarck." As always, I'm Spencer Robbins.
I'm Dave Faulkner.
And we'll see y'all next time.